একটা খুবই सच बात যেটা খুবই सच सच बात सच यस सच बहुत ही कड़वा होता है बट फिर भी कड़वा नहीं होता आई मीन कड़वा होता है सो सच बात ये है कि अगर इफ़ आई रीड अ चैप्टर इज़ दिस बिग यू नो maybe more than this, this big chapter, but after reading the chapter thoroughly or practicing writing important points about it, when I do MCQs, when I solve MCQs, then I find out that only if the chapter is this big, then only this part, or only this part is repeatedly coming in year after year exams. So that is a very big realization for me, I think so, I hope so. And you believe it or not, those points are important to note down and you should repeatedly practice those things. You can say those reps or sets as you do in gymnastics, gym. I'm gonna just dictate those points from the chapter Reproductive Health Biology class 12. So let's begin. I'm just doing the points that I noticed while solving MCQ problems from NEET. So the firstly we have a cleft plate can be detected by ultrasound. So I don't actually have the questions with me right now, but I have the points written down. I'm just dictating those. I will not say the question. It is because I don't have it. Cleft palate can be detected by ultrasound. Okay. Then we will learn about bar body. Bar body is a sex chromatin. The presence of bar body denotes that the baby is female with XX chromosome, with XX chromosomal pair, sex chromosome pair. And then there come in which birth controlling methods is there present a role of hormone. Firstly we have lactational amenorrhea, that after parturition, after giving birth to a baby, up to 6 months after parturition, there is intense lactation and there is absence of ovulation or the release of ovum into the fallopian tube by the ovary. So coitus or copulation, it becomes easier and risk free. So there is a role of hormone, we see that. And then comes the pills. So first was lactational amenorrhea and then comes pills. By eating pills you can play with ovulation and release of ovum and shits like that. So pills, second is pills, and the third is emergency contraceptives. I don't know much about this. Then comes oxytocin. What is oxytocin? Oxytocin is also known as the birth hormone. After giving birth to the baby, oxytocin hormone is released inside the body, which gives a good feeling in the mother's body. The mother who delivered a baby gets a good feeling. Next, what is vasopressin? Vasopressin is also known as ADH. The full form of ADH is antidiuretic hormone. It is related to the kidney stuffs like that, with nephron, kidney and things like that, reabsorption and things like that. It is related to that, the vasopressin hormone. So it is not correctly in this chapter, but it was written in the MCQs from this chapter, so I just included this vasopressin ADH point. Next comes world population. What is the current world population? So as per researched from the year 1997, the world population was nearly 6 billion in the year 1997. 6 billion, approximately 6 billion in the year 1997, the total world population. What are the legal birth control method? Abortion by taking appropriate medicine. So abortion by taking appropriate medicine is a legal birth control method. Just a point to note down. It may come in exam. MTP is a safe. MTP is safe up to first trimester. MTP. The full form of MTP is medical termination of pregnancy. I have to check. No. I think I said it correct. Medical termination of pregnancy. MTP is safe up to the first trimester. First trimester. Now tri means 3 and mester means months. First trimester means up to 3 months of pregnancy. MTP is safe. Now 1 month means 4 weeks, 28 days. So 3 months means 4 into 3. 4 multiplied by 3 or 3 multiplied by 4, whatever. The answer is 12 weeks. Remember that. It may come in exam. Next, we have the names. Gonorrhea is caused by, the causal organisms. Here are the diseases, and here are the causal organisms of the respective diseases. So the causal organism of gonorrhea, of the disease gonorrhea, is Neisseria. It is underlined and written in the form of binomial nomenclature. Neisseria underline. Neisseria spelling is tough, so note it down. Then syphilis is caused by Treponema pallidum. Next, genital warts is caused by human papillomavirus, and then AIDS is caused by HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. I think that is the right full form. As I said, human immunodeficiency virus, and the full form of AIDS is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. And next, well, for this point I remember the question, I think so. Why is it so rare that a 5-year-old boy is getting affected or is diseased by STDs, sexually transmitted disease? So the answer is the chances of a 5-year-old boy having STDs are very rare. It is because he is too unlikely to have intimacy or sex at that small age. And then stage transformed into uterus after induced fertilization of ovum in the laboratory. After an induced fertilization, the ovum is transferred into the uterus, and the stage is known as morula. Done. And then the inside points I have to note down. Maybe. Well, the chapter is very big, but the points or the parts from which the questions are repeatedly coming, are very narrow, very exact points. From very exact points the questions are coming. So yes, lactational amenorrhea, 6 months, effective up to 6 months. Now you have to remember the 6 months point, very helpful. Next, IUDs, intrauterine devices. It is the most widely used method of contraception in India. So IUDs, intrauterine devices, are the most widely used method of contraception in India. So I just have a question that I really have this curiosity, enthusiasm, whatever. See, IUDs are actually inserted by doctors or expert nurses in the uterus through the passage. Okay. Actually, it is daytime. I cannot say every word, man. If it was night at 1 a.m. or 12 a.m. whatever, then I could say, or 11 p.m. everyone is sleeping. But now I'm just alone. Okay, whatever. Um, but it takes guts to see and to do things in this way. But yeah, let's go. IUDs. Okay. So what was my curiosity? IUDs was inserted by doctors or expert nurses in the uterus through the passage. How the hell is this the most widely used method of contraception in India? Is it the fact that everyone is trying to become doctors in India? Everyone is trying to become, but it is not that in every families in India there is a doctor. This is not true. So how is this most widely used method of contraception in India? Let me know if you know. Well, I had this question. Now let's move on. So I got a question here. I have to mark it. Damn, I have nothing, man. So next, what are the non-medicated IUDs? Lippes loop. What does Lippes loop do? I will see the picture in Google. Okay, non-medicated IUDs. Copper releasing IUDs, copper T. So what does the copper releasing IUDs do? They inhibit fertilization. How does they inhibit fertilization? It's because they increase the phagocytosis of sperms, and the copper ions, Cu ions, also suppress the motility and fertilizing capacity of the sperms. Motility and fertilizing capacity of sperms. IUDs are ideal for the females to delay pregnancy or spacing in children, whatever. This line was not at all important. Spacing in children, whatever. And then hormone releasing IUDs. Example is progestasat. And another example of hormone releasing IUDs is LNG-20. LNG-20. Very important. Maximum in most of the time comes in exam. It makes the uterus unsuitable for implantation. What the hell do the hormone releasing IUDs do to the female body? It makes the uterus unsuitable for implantation and the cervix hostile to sperms. Next, this is said, and yeah, then we are coming into the chemical methods. In case of male contraceptives, what are the what is the most important compound? Luteinizing hormone. I don't know how is it actually pronounced, but this is the way that I pronounce, just to remember the spelling, because in the exam I have to write spelling. I don't have to tell anyone. Luteinizing hormone, Luteinizing. Luteinizing hormone is the most important compound, but for the most of the time, luteinizing hormone is in mixture with follicular stimulating hormone. So the most important compound is LH, but most of the time there is a combination between LH and FSH. So male contraceptives usually contain LH and FSH, from which the main compound is LH. Very important. Remember that. Next we come to oral devices, also known as the physiological devices. Now, oral devices refer to pills which we take. For females take oral pills or physiological pills. I have to drink water. So what are the functions of oral pills? They, first of all, in females, so they, of course, they prevent ovulation, not prevent, inhibit, suppress ovulation and implantation. No ovulation, no implantation. Good. Majani life. And then pills are always of small doses. Pills, small doses. And what are the ingredients of the pills? Pills contain progestogens or progestogen estrogen combination, either only progestogen or progestogen hyphen estrogen combinations in the form of tablets or pills. Done. Now for how many days are these pills taken? This was not important, but I think that this is tough, so I'll just say it. First 5 days of the menstrual cycle, and then 7 days gap, then menstruation occurs actually, and then this process is again repeated, again 5 days, then menstruation occurs. No, first 5 days, then 7 days gap, then menstruation occurs, then, and this process is repeated as long as the female wants to prevent conception. Oh, this point was important. Inhibit ovulation and implantation. So how is this done? How is this inhibit? How do the pills inhibit ovulation, and how do they inhibit implantation? So the quality of cervical mucus, the mucus of the cervix, is altered in such a way that they prevent the entry of sperms, and this is highly effective and has very less side effects. And then we got Saheli. It is a very good oral contraceptive for females again, and it is developed by CDRI, Central Drug Research Institute, Lucknow. Central Drug Research Institute, CDRI, from Lucknow. Saheli is a non-steroidal preparation. It contains no steroids, and it is taken once a week, has very few side effects, very contraceptive, very high contraceptive value. Once a week pill, very few side effects, high contraceptive value. It blocks the estrogen receptors in uterus, prevents the eggs from getting implanted. Estrogen receptors in the uterus are blocked, and implantation is also prevented. Now there are drawbacks of oral contraceptives, which is not at all important, but I want to say it because I can see it is 18 minutes 44 seconds into the video. Let's continue. Nausea, abdominal pain, breakthrough bleeding, irregular menstrual bleeding, breast cancer, etc. Why to do these things? Why to do? Maintain yourself. Next. Sterilization methods. Block the path of gamete transport, and so prevent conception. Easy life, So I'm talking about males, vasectomy. Although castration is a point where the testes are at all removed, surgically removed, but the castration point did not come in any exam as long as I noticed. So maximum focus is on vasectomy, where a small part of the vas deferens in males is cut and tied. vas deferens, cut and tied. So what happens? Irreversible sterility. You are never sterile. No more. Tata. Bye. Secondly, release of seminal fluid is possible. Seminal fluid gets released, but there are no sperms. Then, just water. Boring life. Next, female sterilization. Here comes tubectomy. Again, there are ovariectomy where the ovaries are surgically removed. Just like the castration in males where the testes were surgically removed, here we have ovariectomy in case of females where the ovaries are surgically removed. But no questions came from this part again, and the maximum part and the maximum focus is on the tubectomy, where again fallopian tubes is cut. The fallopian tube is cut and tied on both the sides. It is because there are two ovaries, so from two ovaries to two fallopian tubes are coming and joining the uterus. You know the drill. You know the diagram. Cutting and tied. Cut and tie. Whenever you cut, and after cutting you tie. It is tubectomy, it is vasectomy. And but in case of vasectomy, you do it in case of males in the vas deferens, but in case of females, you do the same thing in case of fallopian tubes. For females, it is known as tubectomy. Something important, we have point which is not at all important, but I am saying it is because I am liking it, which is laparoscope. It is an instrument which is used to block the fallopian tubes. It is another method of female sterilization, and this process is known as tubal ligation. It is not cut. No cut. We just, we use this instrument, which is pretty expensive, I guess. I'm not sure, I'm just telling. Laparoscope. It is an instrument to block the fallopian tubes, and the process is called tubal ligation. I said it again. Shouldn't forget that. What is amniocentesis? So first we see pre. What is pre? Pre means before, what happened in the past, and post means after. What? After a certain event. Post event means before that event. No. I'm sorry. Pre event means before that event, and post event means after that event. What is amniocentesis? Amniocentesis, 14 to 16 weeks of pregnancy, prenatal diagnostic method to determine up to 4 months of pregnancy. Up to 4 months of pregnancy, this amniocentesis can be done, which is done in order to determine the sex of the developing baby, gender of the developing baby. It is also used in case of in order to detect any genetical abnormality in the upcoming baby or whatever. This method has both negative and the positive aspects. The negative aspect, I said it earlier, it is used to determine the gender, which does not seem any problem to me, but in India, due to some social beliefs, female feticide was pretty common. So it is banned in India it is legally banned in India by the government. And when I talk about the detection or identification of any genetical abnormality, then I am talking about it can detect Down's syndrome and Klinefelter's syndrome. Again, I am not sure whether I am saying the correct pronunciation. I might be wrong, but spellings are more important. That's what I know. So for amniocentesis, the time is 4 months. You do it, and it is legally banned in India. It is because it shows the gender of the developing baby. So what happens if we do female feticide? It creates an imbalance in the society. सिंगल लड़के ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे, वही बात है, ठीक है, जो कि होना नहीं चाहिए। ये भी सोसाइटी के लिए बहुत ही बुरा है, एंड आई थिंक आई एम सफरिंग दैट प्रेटी मच, ये वेल। नेक्स्ट, STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. Example, gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, trichomoniasis. Very high level spellings, remember that. Also there are many others like chlamydiasis, genital warts, hepatitis B, and HIV, which leads to AIDS. Now something is incurable among these diseases, which is the genital herpes. It is incurable. Next we have hepatitis B and HIV are transmitted by sharing injection needles, surgical instruments, blood transfusion, and infected mother to fetus. One thing is common between all these 3 points is that blood connection is present. Assisted reproductive technologies, ART. First we have in vitro fertilization. It is also known as the IVF test, in vitro fertilization test, test tube baby program. Here embryo is done in the lab under stimulated conditions, and the embryo is then transferred. It is known as embryo transfer, ET. The embryo is then transferred into the mother, into the desired mother. Firstly we have the GIFT, JIFT, zygote intrafallopian transfer. Now we have a point where is 8 blastomeres, up to 8 blastomeres we have JIFT, and after 8 blastomeres we have IUT, intrauterine transfer. IUT is done when the female cannot conceive. IUT is done in case of transfer of embryos with more than 8 blastomeres into the uterus. Next, GIFT, gamete intrafallopian transfer. Who cannot produce the ovum, in case the female cannot produce the ovum, we have GIFT. GIFT, which is gamete intrafallopian transfer. I see. Both the unfertilized oocytes and from the donor are transferred into the fallopian tube. It is very good. And next we have artificial insemination technique, AI. The semen is collected from husband or the healthy donor and is artificially introduced into the uterus. And the step is called IUI, intrauterine insemination of the female. This technique is done when the male partner is unable to inseminate or have low count. Fucking shit, bruh.